It's Lakers Talk.
Lakers Talk
With Alan Sliwa.
Here's LeBron for three. Good again. Wow, how good has LeBron been today?
LeBron and the Lake Show are dancing their way right into the second round.
The league and the owners to make sure that we continue
The quest for number 17 rolls on for the purple and gold.
That was some impressive dancing from your guy LeBron there. It looks like he's still rolling, AD.
He's a good dad. He's a big kid, you know. That's why I love him.
Lakers Talk is on the air.
Here's Alan Sliwa.
What's going on, Laker fans? What's going on, Laker fans? It's been a while. This is the Lakers Talk post-game show. Just the Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN. So now this is like the post-game show to the Lakers Talk. See what we're doing here? I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. We got a good show here lined up. By the way, you know what? This might just have to become the Oklahoma City Thunder post-game show. That's what I think this is going to be. It's the Thunder Nation. You know, by the way, I'm all over the place on this series because I think some of the things that I've said, I almost feel like I'm contradicting. I sent out a tweet earlier today. Literally, my tweet said, "Bring on Houston." You know, it was like this prophecy that I had where my chest is out and I'm saying to myself, "Oh, we'll take on any team anywhere." But I don't know why I'm still rooting for I'm still rooting for the Oklahoma City Thunder during the game. So I don't know what's going on. Let's start with that. Let me just start with that just because, you know, I thought tonight there was a good chance that we were going to determine who the Lakers are going to face in the second round. That was obviously the idea. That was a concept. But that's not the case. What we have to wait now for is we got to wait now for Wednesday. There'll be a Game 7 between the Thunder and the Houston Rockets. Winner of that series face the Lakers in round 2. Clippers still don't know who they're facing in round 2. They have the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz. Winner of that game will be there. I think they'll start their series on Thursday. Lakers will start their series on Friday. I think that's how it's all going to go down. Okay. So, you know, tonight I'm doing my Lakers Talk show. And as I'm talking into the radio, my left eye is just staring into the TV screen, trying to watch this game. And, you know, I had Joe Varden on, who's inside the Orlando bubble. He called in at halftime. Youngmisuk came on towards the end. Not going to lie. I continue to root for the Thunder. And I think from an entertainment perspective, I think playing Houston would be more entertaining. I think playing Russell Westbrook and playing James Harden, like I would be excited to watch that matchup. But I guess at the end of the day, if you get another Game 7 and then it's kind of a coin flip by that point, then it is what it is. So all I'm asking for Laker fans is to just join me on the Oklahoma City Thunder postgame show. Thunder Nation. How quick did we leave the Dallas Mavericks bandwagon? We were on that bandwagon. That one's over. Okay, as always, throw in your thoughts right here. I'll read off some of these comments. If your comments make no sense at all, I probably won't read them off, but I'll do what I can in this. Somebody's saying in here, Houston is so annoying to play. That is, I think, the one thing why most people don't want to see the Houston Rockets is just because their style of play. James Harden, the way he I said during the show, I said the game hasn't even started yet. Dwight already has a technical foul. He already complained. Harden already has 6 free throws, and Kuzma already has 3 fouls. So you can only imagine what that series would be like in obviously in a big time set. Okay, this is how I'm going to start the show. My overall thoughts on round 1, and then we'll go into kind of how weird of a week it was in the NBA. Somebody wants some fist pumps. Somebody wants some fist pumps for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Is that what we're doing tonight? Even when we don't win, we're giving fist pumps out to the Thunder. Okay, so overall thoughts on round 1, and then as we kind of transition to round 2, let me just say this on round 1. Lakers dominated the Blazers. All that chatter and conversation that was around about watch out for the Portland Trail Blazers and this backcourt is unstoppable. I know Dame did have that sprained right knee, but at the end of the day, Lakers dominated that series. Yusuf Nurkic and Hassan Whiteside were irrelevant. Anthony Davis was, obviously doing whatever he needed to do. LeBron James, just go to my notes here, guys, just a second here. LeBron James, his stat line is ridiculous. He was 27, 10, and 10. Lakers dominated the series, but Lakers are going to have to play better basketball. I think we would all agree with that, that at the end of the day, in the second round, you can't play the same way you did against the Portland Trail Blazers. You can't just decide when you want to compete and when you don't want to compete. And I know the Lakers have that luxury sometimes. So I say that, but the reality is you don't want them to get into that habit of, well, we'll play as good as basketball as we can in one game, and then the next game we'll come out and just sleepwalk because we know Damian Lillard's not there. But I thought that was part of what the Los Angeles Lakers were doing in round one. Certainly, I think the Blazers will have better prep them for whoever it is in round two, which is most likely, I still think, is going to be the Houston Rockets. What do you guys think here, by the way? Do you think Rockets take it in Game 7? Rockets take it in Game 7 or Oklahoma City? We have such a common thread here between Laker fans where everybody just feels the same way about every series. Like we just have a certain feeling about certain games. The Art of War says, I want to see Lakers take on either team. That would be the end result after Game 7. That is correct. Lakers versus Rockets would be a foul-a-thon. True. Aniket's hoping for the Thunder to win. Fuchsius wants the Rockets. So we got actually people everywhere. I thought we were all in unison, and it's Laker fans are everywhere right now. Kellen wants the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jose thinks Houston's going to win. So we'll see what happens. Probably not going to be till Friday. Let me say this. Om Youngmisuk brought this up during the Lakers talk show, and I thought it was a really good point. So now I'm bringing it onto Lakers talk postgame show and using it as if it was my analysis. This is basically what he said. Om talked about how it's good to have these two teams battle for 7 games in their first round because I think one of the things you could see with the Portland Trail Blazers as the series progressed, I think it's safe to say that, or I'm sorry, as they got through that bubble round and went 7-2, you could tell that as the Lakers and Portland series progressed, Portland looked tired. There were times where you could see Portland had heavy legs where the Lakers were just cruising in the in the bubble. They really didn't care about the games. And then all of a sudden it got to round 1 and the Lakers were fresh. Well, now you have a Thunder Rockets team that are battling to just get the opportunity to go up against the Lakers in a potential 7-game set. That's got to bode well if you're a Laker fan out there. You got to kind of sit back here and say, wait a minute. So that means Thunder and Rockets, you saw how close this game was. They got another Game 7 coming up on Wednesday, and then they got to turn around and play the Los Angeles Lakers again come up Friday. I think that's a tall, tough task. So the point that Om was trying to make was no matter who comes out of this series, don't be surprised if they're a little tired, that they put out so much energy just to get to round 2. And you got the Los Angeles Lakers after that. By the way, that could be the case for the Nuggets and the Jazz, too, when they play the Los Angeles Clippers. Okay. Read off a couple of these. OKC would be a sweep. Hey, Thunder would take 1. I say Thunder would take 1. Amarul Fai says, anyone concerned about rust with 6 days off for the Lake Show? By the way, let me go even further than that. Because rust could be, it's like this balance that you're always trying to face. You're always trying to say, all right, get through your series quick so you can rest. And then when you get too much rest, then everybody's saying, do you have too much rest? And is that going to lead to rust? I'll say this about the Lakers in regards to that. Rondo, we've been waiting to try and get back. And we know that he's had those back spasms. So the fact that we can wait all the way until Friday on Rajon Rondo potentially, I don't have that thing from Rondo from earlier. The fact that we can wait for Rondo as well, I think is going to help, certainly going to help the Los Angeles Lakers. That's number one. And number two, Lakers played, remember, they played Monday, and then they were supposed to play Wednesday. They didn't play again till Saturday, and now they don't play again till Friday. So you're actually talking about only playing one game in the past 12 days. That's what it's going to be until they start the second round. So, so that can, certainly be something to think about. But I'll tell you, I'd rather have the Lakers fresh and a little bit rusty than tired, which I think that's probably what you're going to get from whether it's the Thunder or the Rockets. Okay, let me keep going here. Thunder ain't taking one, ? How? Come on now. My bad, Robert. I'm giving them one. I'm giving them one game out of 5. Or out of 5. Okay. See what else we got here. Rondo versus Chris Paul again. Bring it on. That's a good point. That could certainly be happening. Okay, so that's my quick little take on round 1. And then this is also, I can't preview a team yet, but I will say that I'm not overly concerned with either team that comes out. I'm really not. If it's the Rockets, it's the Rockets. It is what it is. If it's the Thunder, then Thunder Nation. You know what I mean? Like, that's important to it's important to talk about that. But if it is the Oklahoma City Thunder, then I think the Lakers will handle business in either matchup. I know you guys have tuned into my post-game shows after the post-game shows, and I said this on Saturday, and I'll say it again. I talked about it tonight as well on the show. It's Lakers and the Clippers, no matter how you want to cut this, no matter how you want to try and slice and dice it. This is all just leading to a showdown between the Los Angeles Lakers and a showdown to the Los Angeles Clippers. So Clippers are for real. I don't think there was enough criticism towards the Clippers on how they went 6 games against the Dallas Mavericks team that, in my opinion, was so incredibly overmatched other than Luka Doncic. But I think it's going to be Lakers-Clippers when it's all said and done, and that's going to be a battle. That can go either way. So you guys know how much I have my Laker hat on, but that's going to be an incredible battle when those two teams go up against each other. All right, let me keep moving on here. I want to talk about LeBron. All right, I want to. Somebody wants a Kendrick Perkins jersey in Seattle. Was he or Oklahoma City? I almost went Seattle. It's not a bad idea. I might buy a Kendrick Perkins. No, I'd find somebody better than that. Who'd be a good Oklahoma City Thunder? Who's the guy that was on that team for like 10 years or 12 years since he was he was with Seattle too. Why am I forgetting his name? Is it Collison? Why am I forgetting his name? I can't remember. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with that jersey. All right, we want some people to get some roll call in here. Let's get some roll call here. Nick Collison, that's who it was. Nick Collison. Damn, how the hell did we almost pull that one out? Roll call. For those who don't know what roll call is, you just tell us where you're tuning in from. Wherever you're tuning in from, let us know where you're tuning in. We'll give you a shout out, and as always, we appreciate everybody for being a part of the show. Okay, so I want to play something here real quick. We figure out how to do the audio. All right, got that. Got this. I want to play LeBron James real quick on where the team is right now, and I'll start reading off some of these comments.
Well, we got better. We got better throughout the course of the series. We knew we were coming into a series with versus a hot Portland team that was playing probably the best basketball inside the bubble along with Phoenix. So, we wanted to just come in and try to work our game, get better and better as the games went on, as the series went on, and I believe we did that. So we have an opportunity right now to kind of, decompress just a little bit and wait for our next opponent.
All right, that's LeBron James right there. Just as basically, we're going to kick back, and I think every Laker fan gets this right now. How great is this going to be? If you're a Laker fan out there, and you get tomorrow night, you get to watch Toronto and the Boston Celtics, and then you also get to watch Game 7 between the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell. Wednesday, you get another Game 7 in Miami and I think Milwaukee. You're just kicking back while these other teams try and figure it out. So this is the calm before the storm for Laker fans. Canada, Vancouver, Canada, thank you for tuning in. Vegas, Maryland, East LA, Singapore, Temecula, Philippines, El Sereno, Long Beach, North Hollywood, Puerto Rico. So if I miss you, feel free to tell us where you're tuning in from, and I'll give some shout outs as we go throughout the show. Austin, Texas, Abu Dhabi, Holland, South Korea. I mean, unbelievable. Laker fans everywhere. Okay. Laker fans. Are we truly, truly appreciating LeBron James and the greatness of LeBron James? Are we every single night, do you kind of take a step back and say, man, I don't want to take this guy for granted because he's 35 years old. He's 17 years in the NBA. I got to make sure that I enjoy every moment where he's wearing the purple and gold. I only say that because let me kind of throw some stats out of LeBron James in the first round. Okay. 27, 10, and 10 was his average. That's what he averaged in round one. And that's with game two. His stat line was not good at all. But the Lakers won, so who cares? Game three, he had 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. Game four, he had 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. In game five, he had 36, 10, and 10. Take a moment real quick when I throw out those stats and I throw out those numbers. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to kiss his you-know-what. I'm doing it because we have been privileged to watch greats rock the purple and gold for a really long time. And I know for me, when Kobe Bryant, over a 20-year span, first when he was doing it when it was him and Shaq, but even more specifically when he was doing it with him and Pau Gasol, I didn't appreciate him as much as I should have. I took his greatness for granted because he would do it every single night. That's what Kobe Bryant was doing. You know, there was no question about who's the best player every time he got on the court. It was Kobe Bryant. And I say that now because I think, you know, when we get a chance to watch LeBron James now, I think we should appreciate it. And by the way, I'm not making any comparisons with Kobe and LeBron James. There is no comparison. Kobe is the greatest Los Angeles Laker of all time. He played 20 years for the Lakers, gave you 5 NBA championships. He wanted to win more than you did. His kind of 2 chapters in his basketball career, one with Shaq and Kobe in the number 8 jersey, another one with Pau and Kobe in the 24 jersey. There's no comparisons to be made. But what I will say, we should appreciate what LeBron James is doing at this stage of his career and appreciate that in the purple and gold because we just don't know how long we're going to get him for like this. Santa Barbara, thank you for tuning in. Jacksonville, Redondo Beach. Somebody said he's in Oklahoma City. I don't know if I believe you or you're just saying that because our Thunder won tonight. Either way, thank you for tuning in. Portland, Oregon, Colorado, New Orleans, Singapore, Norwalk, Madagascar. The list goes on. Glendale, Arizona, Uganda, Washington, D.C. So all of you, thank you for tuning in. Riverside. All right, I got to catch up now with the rest of Honduras, with the rest of the comments here as I go into the LeBron James portion. Scott Kaplan tuning in tonight. Scott Kaplan does evenings here on 710 ESPN. He's tuning in. Appreciate him being a part of the show. Okay, so that's my quick little my synopsis when it comes to the appreciation of LeBron James. VE says no, we do not appreciate what he's doing. James says yes, we are. He's great. And I will say this, and I want to make sure that I say this the right way. The true appreciation would come if LeBron won an NBA championship wearing the purple and gold. You know what I mean? So I don't discredit that because if LeBron ends up playing 4 years with the Los Angeles Lakers and we never won an NBA championship, you know, it can only, that appreciation can only go so far, or not. That's not even the right way to put it, but him in a Lakers jersey will be different than some of the other greats, and will always be that way because LeBron, he built his career with other teams, Miami and Cleveland. It's what he's coming to do here with the Los Angeles Lakers would be the icing on the cake. But I do understand that. I do make mention of that a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers, that's the game changer. That's what changes every Laker fan and says, yeah, LeBron is one of our greats because he had won an NBA championship. So I don't mix words for that for a second. All right. Balance Entertainment said, I got to go run 4 miles. Lakers going to go win. Go get that run in, man. Go get that run in. Do what you got to do. All right. I want to read some of these here. Let me read some of this. Smiley Joe says, I hope he finishes in Cleveland. Okay. Walker says, it's weird respecting LeBron this much nowadays as a Kobe fan. I get it. I understand that. I still think, we could still appreciate LeBron for what he does for the game. And, of course, Kobe, will always have this incredible, unbelievable appreciation for what he's done as, certainly as a Los Angeles Laker. Okay. See if I have another one comment here. If not, I'm going to start moving on, guys. Guys, time is of the essence. So if some of these comments here, all right, this is another one that I want to get into. All right, so I'm done with the LeBron James and kissing his you-know-what, but I want to be real when I say that. I mean, the guy is just freaking amazing. And every night I do these shows and I do post-game shows. Every time that, obviously that happens, I just run through him so quickly because I just know how great he is. Okay. Who's a tougher matchup for the Los Angeles Clippers? As in between the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets, it doesn't matter. Honestly, I'd say probably Denver gives them more trouble, but they're handling either one of those teams, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. All right, did you guys see earlier today? Did you guys get a chance to see who won the most improved player in the NBA? A former Los Angeles Laker putting in some work. Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram comes away with the most improved player, 2019-2020 Kia most improved player. Let me say this real quick. I'm happy for the kid. I really am. I really am happy for him. He averaged 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I thought I always thought Brandon Ingram, and I didn't think it was close. I always thought Brandon Ingram had, the most potential out of all the young players that we had. So think about all the young players that were on this team. Jordan Clarkson, who I'm cheering for with the Utah Jazz now. I like watching him come off the bench, and he certainly is adding some contributions. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell. Go down the list. All these young players that the Lakers have had over the years. B.I. is the one that I always was like, man, this guy could be first of all, if there's a way for us to keep him, that would be fantastic. But you knew if you were another team with any conscience, you would know that B.I.'s got to come in any big trade because he's the one with the most potential. But I love his game. I honestly love Brandon Ingram's game. So I don't know if you guys look at Brandon Ingram and say to yourselves, yeah, I'm not rooting for the guy. I'm not cheering for the guy because he's not a Laker anymore. But I don't have that thought for Brandon Ingram. He's an easy guy to root for. D'Angelo Russell, maybe I'm not rooting for him. All right, maybe I'm not going for D'Angelo Russell. But B.I. Was definitely one of my favorite players. When he was with the Los Angeles Lakers, and to see his success with the Pelicans, I think he's only going to get better. What is he now? He's 20. He turns 23 on September 2nd. So in a couple of days from now, he'll be 23 years old. Imagine where this guy's going to be in 3-4 years. Imagine where he's going to be by the time he's 28 years old. So he's certainly a nice player. By the way, I see some people commenting as if like I didn't want the AD trade to go down. Guys, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm just giving some love to Brandon Ingram. If you ask me, would I make this trade again, I would do it 10 times out of 10 times because Anthony Davis is the present. He's the future for the Los Angeles Lakers, and he's got the potential to be the best player in the NBA, within at any moment. It could happen next year. He's got the opportunity right now to be the best team in the remainder of the playoffs. That's how good Anthony Davis is. Speaking of Anthony Davis, AD, on this being a tough team to beat.
First game, we didn't lock into our defensive coverages, especially late game. He wasn't making shots, he wasn't running, he wasn't being scrappy, and we, ultimately lost. So that led to a loss for us, and we picked it up games 2 through 5, and was able to win. So, we know we're a tough team to beat. We know we're a great team, and we just got to play the way every night.
That's Anthony Davis right there. So, proud of what Brandon Ingram did. I'll do the trade 10 times over again to get Anthony Davis on this team. There's no question about that. It's a no-brainer. That's what you got to do. You got to get superstars on this team. I will say, for Anthony Davis, somebody said AD needs to change his hair. Well, we'll let him know. Thank you for that. Thank you for that analysis there. Okay, so let me say this on Anthony Davis. I want to spend a little bit of time on AD. So on the AD front, do you guys know how far Anthony Davis has got in the postseason? What's the furthest AD has got in the postseason? Put your comments down. Right now we're going to do a little trivia for Laker fans. I want to make sure you guys are on top of your game. It's playoff time. I expect only the best from Laker fans right now. We can't take any nights off, even though we have, I think, 4 nights off until we play round 2. Okay, so the furthest that Anthony Davis has ever got in the postseason, round 2, as Brandon Wallace is saying, as everybody else is chiming in now. I think one person saw another guy's answer, and then everybody just started copying him. Somebody said first round. Get off the Matthew is on Periscope. Get off the chat. How do you not know it? It's the second round. Come on, Matthew. Ann says first round as well. Unbelievable. Okay, so the furthest Anthony Davis has ever got in the postseason is round 2. That's the furthest he's ever gone. That's when I think they got swept by the Warriors with KD. Boogie Cousins got injured. So that's, nobody was getting past that team. So I keep that in mind because this is by far the most important stage of Anthony Davis's career, right? I mean, just think about it. He's never been to the second round, or he's never been past the second round before. Think about all the hype behind the Los Angeles Lakers. He's playing with freaking LeBron James, one of the greatest to ever do it. Not all the pressure is on his back. He's playing with champions like Dwight Howard, or players that have been to the NBA Finals like Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, Quinn Cook, who else? Danny Green. There's a ton of, obviously, Lakers, JaVale McGee, that have an incredible amount of experience. So a lot of eyes are on AD. I expect Anthony Davis, who demolished the Portland Trailblazers in round 1, to only get better as we go. Because by the time we get to that Clippers series, when it's Lakers and the Clippers, AD has to be so incredibly dominant in that series and has to be the difference. Yes, the role players are going to have to be key. Yeah, LeBron's going to have a triple-double every night, but, we've seen him do that anyways. But if Anthony Davis, if the Clippers just have no freaking answer for Anthony Davis, that's our biggest advantage. I want to have a chance to be doing the Lakers Talk post-game show like I'm doing right now after the original Lakers Talk that I just did on 710 ESPN. And I want to be able to do these, and we're all just kind of sitting back and saying, there is no freaking answer to Anthony Davis. Did you see what he was doing on offense? Did you see how he was dominating on defense? Anthony Davis is taking us to the NBA Finals. That's the expectation. And I'm not saying that the Clippers don't have incredible expectations as well, but when those two, obviously, when those two collide, so much of this is going to have to do with what Anthony Davis does. All right, let me read off some of these comments here. All right, everybody's already trading players. We're in the middle of the second round, and they're asking me for trade scenarios. Let's see what we got. Braun training AD to be the captain. Kingman 310 on Periscope. Kingman, first of all, you saved some of your peers on Periscope who thought, I think the 2 or 3 that I read that they thought AD was out in round 1. They were coming from Periscope. So all I'm saying is, like, get your group together. YouTube I feel like they're all together. They're united. And I feel like Periscope is all over the place. That's a great point. That Anthony Davis, for the first time in his career, that's not to say that he hasn't played with other, good players, but you want LeBron James to teach Anthony Davis how to be great. You can't define Anthony Davis as great right now. What makes somebody great is they blow through a playoff run and they get to the NBA Finals and they deliver an NBA championship for your city or for your fan base or whatever the case is. So I think that Kingman making that point is a great point. Let's see what else we got here. King Vortex, need more AD LeBron James pick and rolls. I think that was talked about in one of these conversations with Coach. I don't think I have it right here, but I think it was talked about. By the way, Kuzma talked earlier today, and so did head coach Frank Vogel. Jashim Reeves on YouTube. No one can guard AD on the Clippers. We'll find out. I mean, I agree with you, but we'll find out. As in, we got to kind of see how things play out. Why? I'm going to go back to this. How come the Lakers, think about the Lakers coming into round 1 and how much hype was behind the Portland Trailblazers, and the Lakers took care of business in 5 games. And then how the Clippers are supposed to just kind of run through everybody. They take 6 games against Dallas, and, Porzingis doesn't play for a number of those games, and it's not really, conversation wasn't there as much. I felt like the Clippers they weren't that impressive in the first round. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. AD got robbed being the defensive player of the year. Mark Anthony Polo says that. I will tell you, if that is the case, LeBron's about to get robbed with the MVP. That's going to happen because Giannis is going to get that one too. Let Giannis get all the individual awards. The only award that matters at the end is who gets an NBA championship, who gets finals MVP, and that comes from the great Michael Thompson. Monday Night Lakers talk. All right, appreciate it. All right, let me see what else I got here. Read off a couple more of these. Okay, obviously I'm not that impressed with some of the comments right now. Got nothing to work with here. You guys see Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks lose to the Miami Heat? Heat Nation. All right, I'm done doing that. I'm probably not. I'll probably continue to do this throughout the postseason. But that Miami win, I was surprised. I was telling Michael in the pregame show on Saturday, I'm like, Michael, this is going to be a series. Miami Heat are built for the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, all the acquisitions they made that trade for Jay Crowder. They picked up, obviously, Andre Iguodala. Some of those players that they got, I felt like they were just building up for this opportunity against the Miami Heat. Miami can beat the Bucks, no question about it. They can beat the Bucks. So I'm actually more of a believer that series can definitely be an upset. So we'll see what happens in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is really. That's going to be the more exciting. The East will be more exciting in the second round than I think the West is going to be. I just think the Lakers and the Clippers are going to take care of business where any 4 of those teams in the Eastern Conference can come out. So that's definitely going to be exciting to watch. Okay, do I got anything? Carlo, did I miss anything? I hit everything. I think I hit everything, right? Okay, listen, Laker fans, I need you guys to do me a favor for the next couple of nights, okay? Next couple of nights, I want you guys to kick back stress-free. There's nothing to worry about. Watch SportsCenter as you please. Order some food. Watch these Game 7s. Kick back and enjoy NBA basketball. You deserve it. All right. You took care of business in round 1 in 5 games. So now you get the luxury to sit back and enjoy Lakers basketball. And then when we get to Friday, then we'll get stressed out again and just go through the same routine as we usually do. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hate to leave sometimes when there's this many people live. So I really do appreciate you guys being a part of the show. This is what we'll do. I think, let me see what happens. Maybe I'll try and squeeze in another one of these before we get started on Friday. Let's see how things kind of pan out over the next couple of days. I don't want to make any promises. I'd rather keep you guys just hanging, having absolutely no idea whether we're going live again or not until Friday. But as always, thank you for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, please. We certainly appreciate that. On ESPN Los Angeles, follow all of our channels out there. And, as always, starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., we'll start on 710 ESPN. We'll talk about all these NBA games. So thank you for tuning in. Somebody wants one more roll call. Why don't you just go backwards on the video and back on your streams and read them all over again? You can do that. They're all there waiting for you. Thank you, Laker fans. Appreciate it. You guys have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you soon.